Just make the run. Make the run or die now. Hello and welcome. This is a let's play of Why Run, the text adventure based upon Android Netrunner. I highly recommend this. It's free. It's got links down below there for the normal mode, which I'm going to play for you, and the hard mode, which gets straight into the action. But to give you a feel of the flavour, I'll play on the normal mode. You turn over to your left side, trying to find a comfortable position on this ratty couch. The metal bars are digging particularly painfully into your side. A few feet from you, you hear a powerful, endless whirring of a half-dozen computer fans. You hope your brain would eventually turn out the noise and you'd fall asleep. Police sirens zip by every few minutes with distressing regularity. There's no way you'll be able to sleep like this. You might as well open your eyes. You force your eyes open, taking in your surroundings. You feel a pang of anxiety in your gut as you realize you aren't in your apartment. Your brain takes a moment to kick into gear, reminding you of your situation. 24 hours ago, you were sleeping soundly in your own home. A female voice wakes you, announcing through a loudspeaker that your apartment complex was to be demolished in order for the Raiden Consortium. Damn you, Elizabeth Mills. Her speech was precise, her word choice deliberate. No doubt she perfected this script after delivering it for years. For some reason, her closing statement stuck with you. It's not personal. Urban renewal is a necessity of the modern world. It's always someone's home. Yours is no different. You grabbed what belongs to you as the construction androids set explosive charges. Moments later, you were homeless. A friend of a friend agrees to take you in. Some girl who everyone knows as Mac. She agrees to let you crash on her couch while she was away. She never explained why she was away. You don't care to ask. What should you do now? Getting up from the couch would be a good start. See, all these characters, they're all from the Android book. I don't know, I may post a card. Yeah, I may post a card or two just to give you an idea of the characters involved. All in the core set, mind you. You stand up too quickly, your vision goes white. Light-headed, you instinctively take a few steps forward and rest one hand on the computer tower to catch your balance. You involuntarily scream as you yank your hand back. The computer case is burning hot. You string together a series of expletives as you shake your aching hand. You take a minute to calm down, all the while staring at the offending computer tower. You're half worried it might burst into flames at any moment. What should you do? Do you go outside or check your personal access device? I like to go outside and run during stressful situations sometimes. A timid suggestion flashes through your reptilian brain. Go outside. You swat away the thought. Why bother going outside? Anyway, you could do it in Meetspace. It's what you can do much more efficiently in the net. Anything you need, you can order and have delivered in minutes. As long as you have the access to the net, you really have no reason to go outside. You see, I feel the option was to let you play criminal cards. For those of you who are new to the game, criminal cards are more events or instance cards that you just play, and you can often have an effect that lots of static cards on the field have. Of course, the event is only one-time use. The cards on the field tend to be for the rest of the game. So this is going to take you down the Shaper path, I imagine. You reach into your pocket for your pad. You quickly scan your face and flashes on, displaying today's time and date. You check your bank balance. 509 credits. You press your thumb into the screen, feeling the slight tingle as your pad reads your thumbprint. Milliseconds later, your meager credit balance is staring back at you. You have a sudden craving for coffee. Coffee. You slide your pad back into your pocket. You take a step forward when the reality of your situation hits you. You can't make coffee because your coffee machine was destroyed along with the rest of your apartment and possibly your life. The comfortable life you spent years building for yourself exploded yesterday. All you have now is a few hundred credits, an outmoded pad, and the clothes on your back. You flop onto a nearby desk chair and bury your face into your hands. Through your fingers, you notice the computer come to life, creating a life dozen holographic vert displays. Apparently Mac never borrows to secure her rig. Peering at the screen, you notice some familiar-looking software. Judging by the setup she's using, she must be a freelance coder like yourself. That must be what she had in mind. Let you crash on her couch, and in exchange you do some coding work for her. It would explain why she left the computer completely unsecured for you. Well, it's a decent enough deal. Might as well show Mac some gratitude and get to work. Get to work. You give the holographic touch interface a few swipes as you scan through the project Max left open in the last session. It's esoteric, badly commented code, with unintelligible subroutine names and weird pointer encryption. Mac was either a savant or completely insane. I'm just bad myself, but that's just me. After a few fruitless minutes of sifting through incomparable code, you throw your hands up in the air and decide to take the program for a spin. You bring your two hands together and clasp them in a prayer-like gesture. A few hundred years ago, this might have meant something pious or spiritual. Here, it was a standard gesture for build and run. The touch interface folds away. The machine starts compiling the thousands of files without warning. You feel a jet of hot air blow over the computer's 6 fans. Starts running at full blast. Large quantities of debug output scrolls in front of your eyes, moving too fast to be paused. This could take a while. Might as well get some food. The contents of Matt's fridge are disturbingly similar to yours, bringing you a small bit of comfort. You notice an ample supply of energy drinks and grab a bottle of sludge, a programmer's favourite. Chugging down the cold sludge feels satisfying as ever, a mixture of tastes assault your senses, going from stickily sweet to disgusting umami in an instant. It was the perfect meal, designed to tweak every single one of your evolutionarily selected preferences and nutritious, calorie-rich food. Its only flaw, a feature if you ask many marketing a drone, was its tendency to leave you wanting to drink another. You feel another urge to reach for another bottle and you... more sludge. You toss away the bottle and grab another. Your previous life has been destroyed. You could do with a little comfort food. Have some more, get to work now. I'll have some more. Yeah, I'm done now. You pull a third bottle out of the fridge, unseal it, start drinking. The squishy half-solid floating substance pours down your throat. For a moment you think of nothing but the pleasure sensations on your tongue. Moments later the bottle's empty and you feel sick. You could really stop here and go back to work. The fridge still has more bottles. I don't know what it does, but I'm going to stop here. You turn to face the computer and notice a familiar looking symbol staring back at you. Jack in. Damn sludge. It was a standard prompt asking for a user to jack in. It seems Mac was working on a full sim software. Your heart rate quickens slightly as you imagine the possibilities of what could have been making. Your first experiments with the Pleasure Center API come to mind. For a moment before you consider the danger of running mystery software on yourself, full stim meant the computer was in full control of every aspect of your consciousness. It could make you feel a greatest thrill, the most traumatic horror, and everything in between. 2 safeguards were in place. 1, no system could legally access your pain receptors of your brain. And 2, users always retain control of their dominant arm, letting them pull the plug and jack out any time. Using 3 fingers, you rub above the right temple, feeling the fixture of the warm metal socket. Your implants were a bit outdated, but any good commercial software would be backwards compatible. Pragmatically, the older models were also a form of security, More patches for your exploits. Horror stories of malfunctioning new implants were all over the net despite the thorough censorship efforts. Feeling unease in your pit of stomach, you scan the desk for a compatible jack. Let me just check my stuff here first of all. Okay, my stuff's still running. Among the mess of wires, you find the matching hex-shaped jack. It seems to connect securely to the back of the computer tower. Pressing against your temple, you feel no resistance as the magnetized slot attracts the metal pins gently into your cranium. You briefly wonder how much you trust Mac. She certainly seems to trust you. What's the worst that could happen? Jack in! Execute. The world around you fades to black. You feel the weight disappear. The ever-present feeling of fabric covering your skin is gone. You feel naked. You instinctively move your limbs. For something too solid to hold on to, you find nothing. On the plus side, the pain in your stomach is gone too. You look down at your body and find the comforting sight. Your old cyberspace avatar. A perfectly proportioned female body. A muscular, hairless male body. Androgynous chrome textured. Oh, that's from Shadowrun. An anthropomorphized cartoon animal. A heavily armored warrior. An elegant feathered bird. A young, bright-faced child. Call me Eli. When you play the game, you'll get the reference. A sigh of relief leaves the computer simulation of your body. Whatever Max code is doing, it seems to have placed you somewhere in the net, and not in some disturbing hellspace. Slowly, the space around you begins to populate. Windows of a multitude of locations on the net open. Most of them ads. A lurid, purple-lined box displays the latest Bioware pleasure model, with its marketing targeting specifically to your kinks and fetishes, conscious or not. Elsewhere, various coding news groups scroll by slowly, offering you questions, contacts, and advice. The omnipresent news ticker is pasted into your vision. No matter where you look, 7% of your field of view is covered by scrolling yellow text. It's currently letting you know of the waning consortium's newest plans for a highly profitable helium-free mining plant on the moon. The world around you glows red as you feel a pang of anger. Hack the moon! Your thoughts on the waning consortium attract a number of new ads, extorting the values of the space elevator, their affordable unlimited energy plans, and their interplanetary construction business. Your rage gives way to curiosity, and by simply looking at a bit of floating white text, it appears next to one of the windows. Vulnerability detected. Screw you, Weyland-Yutani. You focus your attention on the text prompt, which seems to cause more text to appear. Weyland remote server entry point detected. No apparent protections. No ice detected. No unknown ice detected. Make the run? Let's make the run! You read the cheap-looking console output with a vague sense of bewilderment. Let me cut here and check the feed. Okay, I'm back. If Weyland doesn't know who I am now they do. Trying to make sense of it all, you repeat the last phase to yourself over and over again in your mind. Make a run, make a run, make a run? Space warps around you. Weyland ads all rushing towards your avatar. You instinctively raise your arms to protect yourself as they pass through you. You shut your eyes, which does nothing to stop the flow of sensory information flooding into your brain. The usual pleasant air of the net is gone, replaced with a cold feeling unease. The expertly rendered windows of your ads have all been replaced by dull boxes delivering white text and numbers. The computerized voice fills your mind. Run successful. Scanning. Panic takes hold of you, and you reach for the cable, desperately trying to jack out. However, in this location where you expect to find the motor controller of your right arm. You instead find the fort. Cannot check out while scan is in progress. Your mind races as you realize you're stuck. If Mac software somehow blocks you from checking out, you'll be stuck on the net until your physical body passes out from dehydration. Does anybody in Meat Space know where you are? Will Mac return to find your dead body jacked into her rig? Was she planning to kill you and harvest your organs for profit? Scan completed. You barely have time to react before the voice drones on. This is a server critical to the proper function of the Melange Mining Corp. As a subsidiary, a subsidiary of the mining group on the moon. This is information you currently care about. Would you like to contract a scrubber to disrupt the server, operator, and jack out for the cost of... Yes! Yes! Just do it! Trash that scum! Yeah, trash it. Yeah, so you've got Tansigles in Netrunner. So that means make the run, and then access, and then this means trash. So if you see me doing this, it's just me instinctively doing what you do in the card game. Well, what I do in a card game at the very least. The word yes enters your mind and leaves your mouth as you find yourself back in Mac's apartment, drenched in sweat, panicked. You grab the jack in your forehead and rip it out, throwing it away forcefully like one of your ancestors might throw away a live snake. Still sitting in front of Mac's work desk, your breathing begins to slow down as you stare down the vert displays, the last lines of the program's output still visible. Run successful. Wayland Melange Mining Corporation asset trashed. Credits spent during the run, 107. Wait, what? You pull out your pad and give it a quick thumb press. Sure enough, your miserable balance has been debited over 100 credits. You're not sure if this worries you more than the fact that you apparently spent nearly 4 hours on the net. That's right, Kiddywinks. 1 click equals 4 hours. The net was famous for distorting its user's sense of time, but this was a whole other level. Still, your stomach corroborated your pad information. A few hours had passed. Trying to make sense of it all, you noticed a new window pop up on the left vert screen. Right. Sources report that a Wayland mining operation near Highland has been inexplicably shut down. More information will become available as this develops. A horrible sense of understanding passes over you as more text appears. Digging vehicles allegedly stopped responding to workers' commands and instead spun around at random. Mining androids were seen dropping their tools and dancing with one another. You can't resist but crack a smile as the paragraph scrolls by. No fatalities have been reported, but the disruption could result in the loss of trillions of credits for the Wayland Consortium. Good. The cause of disruption is unknown, or the potential links to known cybercriminals are being investigated. Oh crap. The news prompts trails off with a standard, anyone with information regarding the incident should... As you quickly jump to your feet, you scan the apartment for a place to hide. Check the fridge. It could hold your entire body. It's made out of plasticrete. You welcome the cold sensation to your face as you peer into the fridge. No doubt you could fit your legs in there. You were never that flexible. Eager to modulate the massive spikes in cholesterol going through your brain and somewhat more pleasant, you grab a can from Mac's dash of energy drinks. Cracking it open yields the loud roar of a small gout of flame bursts through the can opening. The bold letters printed on the aluminium. Diesel! That's right, Kiddywinks. For 1 click, you can draw 3 cards. I know, Magic players, it must seem sick. You can just play a card and get 3 cards for just 1 card at 0 cost. I know it seems sick. You whisper to yourself, cute, as you take a large gulp of the appropriately burning liquid. The flames hit your mouth in a pleasant, cool sensation. You swish the liquid from side to side across your tongue, numbing the sweetness receptors of excessive stimulation. You follow the cool sensation down your throat as you swallow, and you feel the fear subside. With a second gulp, the last shreds of fear are obliterated as you realize the possibilities of what you stumbled onto. Quivering with excitement, you sprint over to the computer chair, sit down and drain the last of the energy drink. Eager to experiment, you jack in again.
Scan for entry points. You hasten to add, Wayland! Scan for Wayland entry points to Wayland servers. A noisy feeling passes over you as the net stimulation slows down dramatically, disrupting the flow of artificial stimuli into your brain. Finally, the voice returns. 2 Wayland Central Server entry points detected. Server at IP address, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. E634 can be run. Server hostname R&D. Unintrusive analysis suggests that this server holds upcoming Wayland projects, currently undergoing an active research and development. Access to this server would reveal whatever the corp has planned for the immediate future. Just like in the real game, folks. Server at IP address blah 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 blah. F771 can be run. Server hostname HQ. Unintrusive analysis suggests that this server holds Wayland projects which are ready for deployment, awaiting the proper investment of time and money. Accessing the server would reveal some of what the corp is capable of. R&D is protected by an unknown piece of ice. HQ is protected by an unknown piece of ice. All this information is enough to make you reconsider the exciting forte into cybercrime. Almost. You make your choice. Well, the thing about Wayland is, whenever you run on Wayland, expect them to burn your house down. But of course, if you don't run, they're just going to score out and win. You've got to check whether they can kill you yet or not, so... I want to get into HQ, but I want to run R&D first so they can try and keep me out. Hopefully they'll spend their money keeping me out of R&D so I can attack their HQ. So, I'm going to attack R&D. Run R&D. The thought enters your mind, and the response is immediate. The world around you distorts as your senses are assaulted by invalid data. Hallucinations fly past you, shaking wildly, chaotic sounds drown your hearing. You consider jacking out, but familiar thought prevents you from moving your arm. Cannot jack out while encountering a piece of ice. Thoroughly disorientated, you attempt to make sense of what you're experiencing. Throughout the chaos, one image seems constant: a small kitten-like blue animal with a reflective helmet. Instead of a head focusing on the image, you hear a voice perfectly clear amidst the hallucinations. Encountered ice. Designation: Quandary. This ice is a code gate to prevent unauthorized access to the server, but it should be trivial to break through it with a decoder program. That word again, ice. Or intrusion countermeasure electronics. You knew it. It was an acronym for something like intrusion countermeasure electronics. Security programs designed to protect vulnerable servers. You remember a few coding contracts doing small modules for pieces of ice. You also remember reading urban legends that the net about pieces of ice that could kill or harm intruders. Those are centuries.
Mulling over this fact, the hallucination becomes more intense. The dissonant noise overwhelming. With blue-coloured flash, your vision and hearing fail as data starts being sent to your brain. Moments later, you find yourself back in a familiar part of the net, surrounded by ads. Run, unsuccessful. That was disappointing. You steel yourself and decide to run the other server. Yeah, see, Quandary only costs 1 trillion credits, and the corp currently had 5 trillion, so I imagine they're probably down to 4 trillion credits by now. And they can raise a lot of ice for 4 trillion credits. But, yeah. Run HQ. Yeah, run HQ.
As you think the phrase, you feel yourself being rushed upwards, your surroundings depleting into the endless void below. Finally, finally coming to a halt, you notice in the distance a seemingly endless, thin, pale blue line. Staring at it, your eyes slowly thicken, given the lack of visual landmarks in cyberspace. It would be difficult to tell if this is indeed growing bigger or if you're simply moving towards it. Pondering your next move, you notice the line seems to have a texture. It appears to be made of ice. Ice wall. You find your body you give your body the command to float upwards, but the line stays level with you, unmoving, diving down using an identical result. The line stays fixed in front of you, as though it was somehow attached to your avatar. As you come closer, you think. You are seized by a sense of dread. A tall, seemingly impenetrable ball of ice stretches out definitely in front of you. Although you command your body to stop and fly from the wall, it keeps getting closer or bigger. The computerized voice does nothing to reassure you. Encountered ice. Designation ice wall. This is a barrier designed to prevent unauthorized access to a server, but it should be trivial to break through with any fractal program. Again, that only costs another 1 trillion credits. The corp spent basically nothing to keep me out. The wall continues to grow as the voice gives a clinical description. Fearing imminent impact, you tense your muscles and close your eyes. But a moment passes and you feel nothing. Peering through one eye, you fail to find any trace of gigantic ice wall. Instead, you are greeted by a simple advertisement. Run unsuccessful. That's what this means. Unsuccessful. Jack out. Both servers are well protected. What else do you expect? Of course a mega corporation is going to have secure its servers from intruders. Anything else would be foolish. Well, I do that sometimes, but that's why I get hacked all the time. With nothing else to do, you decide to jack out. So quit. Yeah, so that's jack it. So that's jack out. Not running successful, but jacking out. They usually mean the same thing. They're usually interchangeable. Dejected, you rip the cord from your head and toss it back into a tangle of wires. A wave of fatigue passes over you as your physical body asserts control of your nervous system. Your flesh cries out in neglect, making your back feel sore, your head ache, and your throat feel dry. Your stomach rumbles. Tending to your body's needs, you idly part your pad and confirm your intuition and struggle to accept. It feels like minutes in cyberspace has actually been 8 hours because you made 2 runs. Like I said, kids, each run's a click and each click is 4 hours. So yeah, two runs, 2 clicks, that's 8 hours. Searching for an explanation, you decide it must be something to do with the massive difference in processing power between the human brain and model computers. Still, the strain it placed on your body was very real. You feel like you'll be able to jack in again for a 4th run today, but you'll likely collapse from exhaustion immediately afterwards, if not mid-run. You'd hate to pass out or perform an illegal intrusion into corporate servers. You decide to take it easy and rest for the rest of the day. Do some freelance coding and start earning money again, and get to know Mac setup. Take a contract and get some work. Better click with some credits, boy. Each click usually gains you 100 credits. That was 1 click. So that's 4 hours for 100 credits. You take on a relatively straightforward contract and start coding. The work feels familiar, almost relaxing. Certainly more relaxing than intruding on corporate servers. Still, your curiosity gets the best of you, and you split your time equally between working on a contract and exploring the projects Mac left behind. Now that you know what she's working on, in cracking in cybersecurity measures, her code makes a lot more sense. Her projects were amalgams of homegrown scripts, subroutines cribbed off the net to exploit specific vulnerabilities, and machine-generated code all stitched together. The coding style changed, schizophrenically from function to function, and it was obvious that the project was a rapidly changing entity, adapting to whatever security measures she was tackling at the time. Working on this stuff would certainly be more exciting than doing rote contract work, and more profitable, adds a small voice into the back of your head. You'll be stealing from a corrupt megacorporation responsible for ruining millions of lives, especially yours. The justifications dance around in your mind, and you decide to call it a day. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. So 4 clicks a day, that's 12 hours a day. So I've made my 4th click by getting 100 credits. Time to rest. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. You barely get any sleep reviewing the day's events over and over in your head. You make plans, contingencies, obsess over what ifs, what maybes. You assert your newfound identity as a cybercriminal and renounce it several times over as over the course of the night. Eventually you give up on the idea of sleeping and sit back in front of the computer. Morning arrives, and at this point you feel like you have a fairly decent handle on what Mac's doing. There are a number of things you want to try out, but the most promising one was a script named Operation Sure Gamble, which seemed to be about exploiting online gambling. Go online and build up the script. It costs 4 hours or 1 click, and you gain 500, and it costs you 500 credits to do so. I've got 500 credits, so I spend 500 credits in 4 hours to run this program. This one doesn't require to go full sim, so you just sit back and let the computer work for a while, looking for a gambling server that still has the requisite vulnerability. After 4 fruitless hours, which you spend leafing through Matt's projects, the script eventually pings you, signifying that a vulnerable site has been found. You switch your focus back to the script and note it's already done most of the work. You're logging into a gambling table. You've just got to have a bet. You start with a small bet of a few credits to test the script. Sure enough, you win double your bet. Blindly trusting in Matt's scripts has served you well, so you put your entire credit balance, all 500 credits, on the table. 500 credits. Your pad beeps as your bank balance goes to 0. Ironically enough, this actually happens in the card game. The virtual wheel spins, and the script works like magic. You've won. Your money is doubled, with the house taking 10% of the winnings. Your hand shake as you take in the incredible power you've unlocked, and with your account your account immediately gets permabanned for cheating. Ah well, at least the script cashed out your money before they could freeze it. It's unlikely you'll find another vulnerable gambling website for a while, but the infusion of Quick Clash is certainly welcome. I'm definitely going to start putting up the cards for this. I think I can get away with it. You feel powerful, in control. You feel like you've learned what Max Ray is capable of. You're eager to try it all. The world is your oyster. It's time to take flight to the Whaling Consortium. First thing you should do is review the corporate actions. This is a useful little tool Mac has running. It constantly scans the net for corporate activity and news, filters out the PR noise, and shows only the most relevant information. You've turned to follow Whaling Consortium activity, displaying the 3 most relevant actions performed in the past 24 hours. Strangely enough, it's currently only showing one story. The Whaling Consortium has once again swallowed another smaller corporation in a hostile takeover today. Titan International is now part of the Wayland Empire. Top executives have refused to comment on the details of the acquisition. While no doubt wildly profitable, Titan International was valued at over 7 trillion credits. The move has attracted a torrent of criticism from the protesters all over the world. The tool displays 3 more useful pieces of information. Estimated court funds is 8 trillion credits. So they gained 7 trillion credits. They must have gone down to 1 trillion credits. How the hell did they spend 3 trillion credits? They must have had... Oh yeah, because it cost 2 trillion credits to do the takeover, to advance the agenda. So they go down to 3. They install the agenda from the HQ gate, ready to run. They pay 2 trillion credits using 2 of their clicks or 8 hours, and it goes down to 1. And then they gain 7, make them 8. Yes, that's the math behind it, and that's the real actual game math there behind it. The corp project's ready for your deployment in HQ. 3. So they've got 3 more things in HQ. Corporate agenda progress is at 15%. You're not sure the last number is calculated, and the code begins getting to work. A gigantic mess. Still, you're pretty sure you don't want that number to go up. You're definitely sure you don't want it to get hit 100%. Enough reading. Time for action. Okay, I think we're going to go into the actual game here. If you go into hard mode, I think you'll pretty much start from the next screen. If the corporation gets to 7 credits, they can do whatever they like, and no one's going to give a damn. They'll have enough power and money to buy off whoever they want, and they'll just illegally find out where you live and kill you. Hostile takeover of a corporation gets 1 point, which is 15%. Oh dear. Here we go. Welcome back, Desire As You May. Yeah, this is indeed where, if you start hard mode, this is the actual game now. This is where it gets real.
So if I mess up here, I could be left poor and broke, and I could just end up having Wayland knocking on my door. And you don't want them to knock on your door, folks, believe me. They don't knock gentle. Okay. First order of business. Let's see what I'm dealing with here. Review corporate actions. Okay. That's that. Now jack into the net, see what they've got. Right, they've got a code gate over HQ, over R&D, and a barrier over HQ. I'm just going to assume that they can kill me. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to assume that they can kill me. I'm sure they've got the kill in hand, so I've got to be careful about how I run. I've got to have enough money and actions to clear up after myself, because once you hack into a server, if you get tagged, they're going to find out where you live, and it's not going to be pretty. Right. Let's draw cards. So, my options are as follows. I can install Ninja, an icebreaker, that a killer program capable of breaking sentries. Sentries hurt you, folks. They're the ice that hurts you. They let you through, but they sting. And they'll basically trash my computer options. I can make a special order for one of Mac's connections for another icebreaker program. I can mod a program or hardware myself, saving me 300 credits. Or I can draw cards. A surge of creativity. Well, I can draw 3 cards for 1 click, or I can draw 1 card for 1 click. I'm going to draw 3 cards. The dozens of aluminium cans are sitting in the fridge. Too tempting. You give it and decide to see what happens when you chug one. Whoa, okay, you definitely won't make it a full dozen. You barely get 3 cans in, so each can representing a card. In your heart and mind is barely racing. You sit back at the computer and begin looking for things to do. The computer seems to have found another online gambling site that is vulnerable to exploits. You could use it to make some quick cash, assuming you've already have a decent bankroll. This fails to satisfy you. Your hyperactive mind, you continue digging for something to entertain you. The computer found an online repository holding the source code for an icebreaker program known as Gorgon Blade. Might be worth checking out. That sounds interesting, but sorry, there's more out there. You keep searching for fun things to do. You'll find yourself energized, almost manic. You feel like you can create anything. You feel eager to code something, anything. You feel like doing it by hand, modifying it by yourself. The diesel high fades out. You feel yourself energized and satisfied. Plus, you look at these cool things you've got left to do. Get back to work. So that cost 4 hours or 1 click. So it's 4 o'clock right now. Okay. First things first, let's get some money together. I can use the Sure Gamble script again to make money in online gambling. Costs 4 hours, 500 credits, that's 1 click. While you're working, it seems the stray process scanning for the net gambling process found another exploit. You're expecting this trick to work again, but apparently there are still more gambling operations out there running outdated code. A large bet would attract too much attention. You get flagged too quickly. You may even trigger an investigation. Instead, you decide to spend some time on a small no-limit hold'em table, occasionally making bad plays, losing money on purpose. You do eventually get flagged and banned, but by the time this occurs, you've smoothed up 400 credits. Not too bad for a few hours' work. Trust me, it's better than spending 1 click or 4 hours to get 100 credits. Right, it's 8 o'clock now. I imagine I'll probably go to bed at 12. Yeah, let's install some icebreakers now that I've got the money. I can mod a program. Gorgon Blade is an icebreaker that breaks decoder programs. Okay. That would get me into R&D. This is an icebreaker program designed to break through code gate type ice. While its method is basic, almost primitive, success is guaranteed with given enough money. The code gate ice is usually designed to let only the very specific personnel into a server. Dozens of solutions exist. Using sniffed, spoofed or logged passkeys, other employees' stealth and gaining surreptitious access. Other gates open for another user. But this icebreaker simply does away with all that and simply cuts through the gate with a DDoS attack. And the machine running the ice. This mode of attack earned its name, nicknamed Gorgon Blade. The code for Guardian Blade is a colourful affair, to say the least. Judging by the complete absence of a coding standard, you wager that hundreds of coders must have contributed to the source. Some parts are incredibly elegant and well written, while others seem to have been authorised by a 10-year-old girl. I think she's actually about 13. The README file features a retro-style piece of ASCII art of a sword with the caption, "It can slice through the thickest knots of data." The version of Guardian Blade you receive appears to be missing some chunks of code, as though they've been purposely excised. The missing code is fairly critical, so you spend a few hours puzzling over how to fix this. The net is surprisingly tight-lipped about this problem. The only advice you find states cryptically, if you're worthy of wielding the Guardian Blade, you would have no problem getting it running. You decide to fill in the blanks yourself. After solving some fairly complicated math, you think you've a working icebreaker in your hands. The code gate for Guardian Blade is positively enormous, likely a result of dozens of contributions over the years. While the resulting code is sometimes hard to follow, that software is robust, with bugs being fixed moments after you're found. Compiling such a behemoth code would take nearly a year, but you farm it out that work to some online servers in exchange for money. You'll fork over 100 credits for computation time, and minutes after that you'll have a working CodeGate solution. It's past midnight. Experience has shown you the value of a good night's sleep, so going to bed. Good night, see you tomorrow. Yeah, Guardian Blade normally costs 400 credits, but because I modded it goes down to 100. Yeah, to boost the strength of an icebreaker you need computing power, and you have to go pay for offline for servers far away to boost the strength. Good morning. The following things have occurred while you were away. The Welling Consortium R&D department continued churning forward another project that leaves R&D and goes to HQ ready to be deployed. Routine activities detected. The Corp clicks for a credit. Clicks for 1 trillion credits. So that's 1 click, 1 trillion credits. Even with no special projects operations being done, they're still capable of earning money. The 2 clicks for 2 credits. Seem that the Corp has big plans for remote servers. They don't want you interfering. They've installed ICE on a remote server, possibly in an effort to opt you out. They've got 10 trillion credits. Crap. Yeah, Whirling gets rich pretty quick. Right. So, let's just get my rig set up. Sentry breakers down. This is an icebreaker program capable of breaking even the most aggressive piece of sentry type ice. Success is guaranteed, but never cheap. Sentries are really expensive to break. Sentries are the most complex and dangerous ice out there. Corporations protecting their servers with sentries mean business. They're expensive to boot. It functions by exploiting known weaknesses in ice. It first runs a complete scan of the encountered ice, looking for a vulnerability to exploit. When it finds one, and there's always at least one, it performs a surgical strike against the weak spot, taking it down in the blink of an eye. The modus operandi has earned this nickname of Ninja. Ninja source code is clean, professional affair, even with a README file well structured, listing various problems and cases and how to deal with them. It almost feels like this program could be a legitimate commercial project, if its stated purpose weren't to perform illegal raids on corporate servers. The README file ends with the following motto: if you feel ninja before you see ninja, you feel ninja before you see ninja, if you see ninja at all. You take a few hours to explore the icebreaker code, feeling almost guilty when you have to make changes to such a keen piece of software. You run across some deeply worrying chunks of code, ostensibly designed to kill users, matching a specific definition of DNA. You dare not modify them or edit them out, in fear of triggering one of Dead Man's Switch or in hopefully proving that you want the target of a particular hit. The code base for Ninja is huge, a likely result of many generations of improvement and refinement. You are thankful to have a solid piece of software watching your back in cyberspace. Compiling it would take months, so you'd buy a few trillion zettaflops of online to compile it for you. It sets you back 100 credits, but it was farmed out to the finest sentry breaker in the world. Oh my goodness. Let me just check my rig. Rig's still working. Diesel. Flames. Okay. 12 o'clock. 3 clicks left. Yeah,
Let's jack in, see what I can run. You jack into the net, preparing for a run on one of Wayne's corporate servers. The familiar blackness of the net frowns you. You've been straining yourself pretty hard lately. Running puts a lot of stress on your mental well-being. Taking a nap before you run would be best, otherwise the stress might kill you. Screw that, let's just run. Run R&D. As you initiate a run against the Wayland server, you receive a encrypted message from the anonymous source. Hey, listen, you don't know me and I don't know you. All I know is that you've been taking actions against those Wayland assholes. I have one bone to pick with them too. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Those dicks deserve what's coming to them. I don't have the balls to stick it to my neck out for them like you're doing. But I have some cash. Tell you what, whenever you raid one of their servers, I'll chip in some cash, okay? 100 credits every time you run their servers. Just make sure you hurt them, otherwise I'll take it back. I'm not paying for you to buy booze or whatever. I want you to see those guys burn. Peace! It seems that all the bad publicity Wayland's been racking up is starting to take effect. Yeah, when Wayland does a hostile takeover, you get a bad publicity, and it gives you 100 credits every time you run. Not forever though, only for during the run. It all seems like the bad publicity is starting to take effect. Must be a result of the hostile takeover you saw on the news recently. In any case, it's a good deal. Free money to do whatever you want to do anyway. I'll make running a lot less taxing on your bank account. You feel the ping originating from your bank account. You received 100 credits from an anonymous source. The system's voice comes online. Scan complete. You've encountered Quandary. Quandary is a low-strength code breaker. It is a simple and harmless trick, filling the intruder's sensory field with garbage and data, and in mind attempt to parse it into sensible images for upload. Wow, no idea what that word is. Pareidolia. I have to look that up. The hallucinations are meant to scare off the casual intruder. Any seasoned runner knows that breaking Quandary is trivial matter for even the most basic icebreaker decoders. I can break from using my Gordian Blade, costing 100 credits. Yeah, the strength of Gordian Blade is 1, so my Gordian Blade is strength 2. That's fine. It costs 100 credits to break the subroutine, so I'm going to have to farm that out. 100 credits worth of data to farm out. There is no more ice protecting the server after this one. Do you want to break it? I've got 100 credits for free, might as well use it. I've passed all the ice. Now I can access R&D. Okay, let's see what I got. Access. Passing the final piece of ice and R&D. You're whisked away to cyberspace for a rotation of one of their data sources. Peering inside, you can see a massive amount of data. Sifting to it for protecting this completion of R&D. If left alone, the corporation will likely use it within 24 hours, so this is the next card they're going to draw. Okay, I've accessed the data core known as green level clearance. That gets them money and cards. This is a corporate operation. Okay, so when it's in HQ, it's like an instant. You can play it instantly using one click. Green level clearance refers to the green level security clearance. The highest level security clearance the corp can gain access to legally. Having high security clearance can be extremely profitable to a corporation, especially as its well-known war profiteers such as Wayland Consortium. By leveraging their security clearance, the corp can accelerate its R&D process and make money simultaneously with very little investment. All this is operation, there's no way I can interact with it. So next turn they're going to gain 2 credits and 1 card, using one click. Once successful, I spent 100 credits, time to jack out. Right. I can't jack into HQ, I can't run access HQ because I've got no breaker. I could special order one. Screw it, let's just draw a card. You barely make it to the catch before passing out. The mental stress of your activities is almost too much to bear. You wake up a few hours later feeling refreshed. A shipment of diesel drink come in. You spend time filling the fridge with it. You suddenly wonder how many of these cans you could drink before passing out. It's 8 o'clock. So last time I checked, went to bed at 12, so I've got 1 click left. I might as well use draw cards because this gets me 3 cards using 1 can of diesel. Right, cans are too tempting. Okay, I won't make it to half dozen. You've seen this before. I'll skip this text. It's now midnight. I go to sleep. Good night. And let's see what Wayland does now. The following occurred. Okay, they do the mandatory draw.
They've used the green level clearance. Yep, so it costs 1 credit to use it to gain 3 credits in 1 card. Also, something else has happened. Bad news to Space Rush today. Wayland Consortium has announced plans to hike up prices on their space elevator. The main cause behind the increase was a newly added security measure put in place as a result of recent cyber attacks. Against the Beanstalk. The Space Elevator Authority has been conducting more thorough screenings of people entering and leaving the Beanstalk in an effort to curb dangerous criminal activity. Note this price hike has a retroactive, and as such, any reservations have had their prices adjusted to match, with customers being automatically billed for the newer price. The move has reportedly brought in revenues of 3 trillion credits. And they put a new project in the remote server. And that's 17 trillion credits. Oh dear, that server could be an agenda. I've got to get in there before they advance it out and score it. Most of these things take around 5 clicks or 5 clicks. The corporation only has 3 clicks per turn. So I've got to get into that server. Right, let's see what I can get into that server now. Okay, I've got the 100 credits. I encountered an unknown piece of ice. The ice seems inert. It floats harmlessly so pass by it. Okay, the ice hasn't been activated. Oh no, it's active. Suddenly your whole body is close to a sense of unease. You barely have time to turn around when notice the blue ball transformed into a silhouette of a muscular humanoid wielding what appears to be an electrified baton. You command your body to fly away as it comes towards you and somewhat slows towards you, swinging its weapon. The ice pursues you as you fly off, jumping from one unseen platform to the next. Walls begin to form around you, boxing you in, cutting off your escape. You get a glimpse of your pursuer's face. It's a face of stark blue sphere, masked only by central pulsing blue light. The scan's complete. You've encountered a guard.
Guard is a medium strength sentry, which means it's bloody expensive to beat. It takes the form of a Lith, agile martial artist, and attacks intruders with a melee weapon. This, of course, is just a ruse. The fight avatar is really meant to be distracted from the guard script, which scans for the source of the unauthorized connection and terminates them aggressively. While most sentries seek to inflict damage upon a user, this guard simply kicks your connection in the most efficient way possible, and thus has added upside of virtually impossible to bypass without the appropriate icebreaker. I've got a ninja, and it's going to cost me 400 credits. See, expensive as hell. This is the last one. Spend the money. Right, access. Pass on the final piece of ice. I have accessed a Project Atlas. The system continues. This is a project of extreme importance to Wayland Consortium. One of the corporate's most secret of agendas. Accessing and stealing this data will throw the corporation into disarray. You grin as you download the entire content of the data core to your rig. Within seconds of the transfer is complete. You input the command to work the corporate data cores clean. Out of spite, you upload a virus to the data core. Your data will do any real damage, but at insult to injury, piss off whoever's to clean up after you. 30%. Yes. Yep. So that means it's worth 2 points. I'm at 2 points out of 7. So first to 7 wins, boys and girls. If I get to 7 first, I'll cripple the corporation beyond any capacity for it to score out and kill me. End the run. One successful. I spent 400, but really only 300 because of the bad publicity. Right. 2 clicks left. Still can't check HQ. Right, draw a card. Maker's Eye. Accesses 3 cards from R&D as opposed to just the one I accessed last time. So what I usually try and do is I usually try and build up enough credits to make a multi-access run. Okay, ninja, don't need that. I'll build magnum opus. This program goes leaps and bounds beyond max efficiency enhancements. While her concept was advanced by any standard, your magnum opus puts it to shame. Magnum opus lets you code while jetting to your rig, running full sim.
This removes any physical limitation on your work. Your hands are no longer bottlenecked by how fast you can put commands. Everything happens at the speed of thought. Magnum Opus takes Mac's predictive algorithm and modifies it to put code from entire net, open source libraries, coding resources, and universities. Cracked corporate code. Anything's fair game for Magnum Opus. The upshot of this, that if only a thought, it can make coding knowledge and wisdom entirely to the human race. What it effectively does, instead of using one click to gain 1 credit, I can now click for 2 credits. Magnum Opus scans your existing code and cross-references it online against databases, common mistakes and flaws, blah 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 blah. Magnum Opus is ready. Okay, time to go to sleep. Good night. What's Wayland done now? They've drawn a card. They've put a new project in a remote. Hopefully it's another agenda. Oh. And they've advanced it twice. So they spent 2 clicks. In each click cost them... They spent 2 clicks to advance it. So they advanced it twice. So each advancement costs 1 click and 1 trillion credits. So it could be a very large project. I'm guessing it's a 3-point project, which means it's worth 45%. So, yeah. So that's, I've got to get in there. Right, jack in, get in there. Yeah, oh, I don't have enough money. Let's get some money first of all. 500 credits. Let's see if we can get any better cards first of all before I go in there. Okay. You know what, screw it. Nothing to it but to do it. Jack in. Access. Yep, I knew it. Priority requisition. Burn it, steal it. Good. 75%. 1 more agenda point needed. Yeah, if they'd got that, they'd be able to res ice for free. I mean, this is kind of easy mode. No one would make such a put a thing in such a lightly protected server, but it's just this is easy mode. Right. I need money for the next run, next turn. Next turn, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to see tomorrow. Oh, I've got to ditch a card. I'll ditch the ninja. I've already got one. Right, what's Wayne up to? Drawn a card. It's used a blue level security clearance. Okay, that uses 2 clicks. It gets them 4 credits and 2 cards. Wayland Consortium has announced another wave of layoffs today, allegedly the last round of corporate restructuring within the corporation. Critics have noted that the move has led to increased profits due to experienced, costly employees being laid off and replaced by cheaper labour, be it clones, androids or fresh graduates. Business analysts claim that this is on par for the course for the modern corporation to remain relevant in today's corporate cutthroat world. Monthly financial reports seen increase up to 6 trillion credits for the Wayland Consortium. Yeah, the Wayland Consortium's special ability is they gain 1 extra trillion credits for, or 1 extra trillion credits for using a transaction operation. Because normally other corporations only get 5 trillion credits from doing a restructure, but they gain 6 because of their ability. Ugh. Sick, dude. Right. Okay, Magnum Opus. Magnum Opus for 2 credits. So I'm just sitting there coding, using my Magnum Opus to do it automatically. I'm going to go for it. I've got 2 clicks left. So I'm going to use a backdoor interface to give me an extra card every time I access R&D. Mac apparently has friends in high places. Someone working on Wayland's R&D department owes her a favour or 2. And you have a good idea to make use of that. You cobble together a simple device and it will scan for nearby wireless networks, connect to them. Scan for any connection machines and send them all information back to you. The practical upshot of that is any additional entry points gives you additional cards. Send it off to a little courier. Right, and now I'm going to go for the kill. I'm going to access 4 cards at once. Oh no, 5 cards at once. So let me see if we can jack into
Yes, R&D is wide open. So, make R&D, accessing. Here we go. Mac's notes get a bit weird sometimes, but trusting them has served you so far. The file details a particular meditation technique in meat space. The technique is designed to heighten awareness and focus your senses. In cyberspace, this supposedly improves your perception and allows you to access beyond the data. While you normally discard this new age nonsense, you give it a try, an earnest try. Holding the jack in one hand, you close your eyes and begin slowly breathing. You visualize cyberspace avatar fully formed in your mind, surrounded by the blackness of the net. Holding on to that image, you command a computer to run the Maker's Eye script. Initiating the run R&D, you simultaneously jack in, holding on to the visualization. Data overruns your senses. The flood of sensory input attempts to take over your vision, but you continue visualizing your avatar floating in cyberspace, struggling to maintain control. You slowly, the stream of data adapts to it, fit your mental model. Your visualization becomes reality. You're looking at yourself from the outside. You control your avatar as you normally would, but somehow with an external viewpoint. From this distance, you can see the data moving through your avatar. You can see beyond the field of view, things beyond the usual facade of the net, as if somehow you enabled the net's developing mode. You can see calls being made in the background, messages being sent back and forth, various IPs. Now we attack R&D. It's wide open. Break the quandary for 100 credits. Pass by the last piece of ice. Access. Oh, I was on 5 credits. I was on 5 points. I thought I was on. Oh, okay. Passing through the pinnacle piece of data of access a hostile takeover. Yep. I can now dig deeper into R&D. I'm using my Maker's Eye to do so. Next card down. I have access to a piece of ice called Rainbow. This uses a three-pronged attack. It can be broken with any icebreaker. I could break it with my Gordian Braid if I needed to. Nothing I can do about it, but I can dig deeper into R&D. I'm going to dig deeper into R&D. I found a green level clearance. Okay, that's all of my Maker's Eye can do for me. Okay, next card is going to be my R&D interface. Let's see what this card gets me. Oh crap, it's a Scorched Earth. That's the kill card, folks. It's so important, I think I'd better read it. This is what happened to my first house. This was an operation in which the rating can put into action given enough time and money. The Operation Scorched Earth refers to a Black Ops tactic employed by the Wayland Consortium to deal with problem individuals. Once the target has been identified and located, usually through the means of an electronic tag, the position is then carpet bombed into oblivion through whatever means the most easiest explained as an accident after the fact. Due to Wayland Consortium's involvement in the military affairs, demolitions business and power generation, every corner of the civilized world can be targeted by Scorched Earth tactics. In case it's not obvious, this is a major threat to your survival. The number one reason why people don't tend to oppose the Wayland Consortium is for very long, is if you want to stay alive, and paranoid is your greatest asset. Do not make runs when you're tired, or last click, in other words. Always keep some cash on hand, and never ever ignore the tag. As with all operations, there is no way for you to interfere or sabotage it. Just be warned that it exists. Yeah, so if I get something called a tag, and I don't clear it, I'm basically going to die. They're basically just going to insta-kill me by getting rid of 4 cards from my hand. If I can't trash 4 cards from my hand, I'm dead. That's how life points work, folks. What's Wayland doing now? They install new ice on R&D. They install new ice on a remote server. And they've drawn an extra card. So they've drawn 2... Oh, they've got 19 trillion credits still. I've got 3 cards in hand, so I can't take a Scorched Earth to the face. Take a nap. Let's just draw a card. Corroder, that's my barrier breaker. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. I'll let you explore the rest yourself. I've got to finish this now. I've got to finish them off. Got to go for the kill. Sure gamble. Oh, I haven't got no money. Got to click for credits. Oh dear, if they put a project in the thing, I might not be able to run and access it. Okay, ice over R&D. Green level for free for 2 extra credits. And has drawn an extra card. Money up. Money up again, 600 credits. Sure gamble for more money. And card. Right. So that's 3 cards that have gone through. I've seen top 4 cards. So next turn I should run again and see fresh cards. Okay, they've drawn another card. They put a new project in the server. I'm assuming that's going to be an agenda and go for the win. Right. So I'm going to put in a backdoor interface so I can access 3 cards again when I run R&D. Let's check the server, see what's there. Oh, there's an unknown piece of ice there this time. And it's a code gate. It's the rainbow again that I saw before R&D. Break that for 300. Break the guard for 400 at 700 credits. Access to remote server. And it's the game! Right. You're overcome by a powerful sense of satisfaction. Right. It's all over now. You've won. There's no chance the corporation can recover, not after the beating you've given them. They may continue to exist in name, but they'll forever be a bit player, a smaller corporation subservient to one of the giants. You'll doubt they make any attempt to pursue you. You have skill enough to the point where you're virtually untouchable. It's unlikely that dwindling assets could support an expensive campaign against you. Here's where you decide what kind of runner you are. And you know what? I'm not going to let you see how this ends. I'll let you discover how it ends for yourself. I personally tend to be a hacker, a shaper myself. Hopefully you discover your endings yourself, and I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, I thought I was going to die there, seriously. And it's not even the hard mode. The hard mode is brutal. Don't mess around in hard mode, folks. That's like playing playing a person is even more challenging, but you get a feel for it through the hard mode. So once again, there's going to be at the bottom there. I highly recommend you give it a try, even if you don't particularly want to play Netrunner. It's a bit of fun there. Good running, folks.